Welcome to Still with Purpose. This is Amanda and Christy.
Our goal is to dig deep and discuss real, raw subjects in pursuit of greater self-awareness, positive transformation and healing, and to link arms and journey with you to find purpose and passion in life. Welcome back. We are going to talk today about why we resist what we are called to do. So Amanda, kick us off with our quote.
All right. When I'm focused on what others are doing or not doing, then I don't have to focus on what I'm called to do. That is my life quote, honestly, for about 10 years. I think I wrote it about 10 years ago when I figured out that I rather do anything except what I'm called to do. So there's always these shiny red objects or whatever. There's something pulling me away from the calling at all times. And I do feel like, that's partially the enemy, but a lot of it's maybe fear of stepping into what I'm called to do and laziness, quite honestly, because it's tough to get up every morning and be like, okay, I'm going to rock out what I'm called to do today. What do you think as far as that?
I think it could be fear. I think it could be laziness. I think it could also be that it zaps your energy or your zeal for life because you're just so consumed with what the other person is doing and it just drains you. So you don't have anything left in the tank to go after your own calling.
That's absolutely true. Because if you're a creative in any sense, that's the easiest scapegoat is to be like, well, they're annoying me or they hurt my feelings or some kind of emotional take on some event. I allowed that. I allowed to have that response to the person in the situation, knowing full well, because I'm very proactive about my calendar, knowing full well that I was going to record this podcast today or whatever. I allowed that situation to zap my energy and to pull me from what I want to be grounded in instead of judgment. So using people as a scapegoat to procrastinate is a huge problem for me. In some aspects, watching other people's lives in turmoil or drama makes me feel better about myself, like in a sick, twisted way. And therefore I can be like, well, I guess I can be fully involved in that drama or I could be exhausted by it. Either way, it's an excuse for not doing what I'm called to do.
Yeah. I mean, isn't that why reality TV is so huge? Because everyone is so concerned with what everyone else is doing and probably judging what everyone else is doing and not focused or worried about themselves.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Man, when I choose to downward spiral and focus on all the negative, I'm going for the gold because I will have the biggest pity party of all. Like I will think of every scenario that bugs me, every human that's not meeting my needs. And ultimately, I'm just mad at myself, honestly.
Yeah.
And so it just downward spirals me. I go into a pity party. And here's a quote that I came across at one point. The answer to your problem is in the work you are not willing to do. So eventually my tools come back or my quotes come back and kick my own butt.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, holy crap, I'm in the swirl again. I'm procrastinating again.
Yeah, it's easy to do. And it's easy to, like when you're dealing with somebody who's not doing what you think they should be doing, it's easy to deflect and say, well, I didn't do this because you didn't do that. Turning tables, which is also a good Adele song if anyone's interested.
Love Adele.
I love Adele.
Were you planning on singing it?
No.
Okay. So I think I told you just personally in one of our conversations about the let them theory, right? So it's Mel Robbins. Everyone knows Mel Robbins. She came up with the let them theory, and it really helped me shift out of this procrastination, scapegoat, blame, shame, guilt game. And obviously look back in the mirror. It's literally let them not do what they're supposed to be doing in their life. Let them not do their calling. Let them not call you. Let them be disappointing. Stop putting so much energy into focusing on all the things and judging all the things and all the people. Like it's so time consuming. It just rocked out our lives. We wouldn't have time to look at anyone else's stuff.
Yeah. So two things. You talked about this not too long ago when we were having discussions. And at the same time, like the day before, somebody who I go to church with, I had lunch with, who's becoming a dear friend of mine, we were talking about somebody in my life who, I continue to have conflict with. And she said, "You're too consumed with what they're doing." Like she literally said what we're talking about. Take your mind off of them, put your eyes back on God, and pray that He can help you do that more. And so since our discussion and that discussion, I've really tried to do this. And I will tell you, it has been so freeing just to
Yeah.
watch things unfold and watch the consequences of other people's actions play out without me feeling like I forced those consequences or those
Yeah.
outcomes, because they're going to naturally happen. And just let them and let the situations, come about the way that they will. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. I love the theory and I love the practice.
And it's so simple.
Yes. You don't have to do
I have
anything. That's it.
I have a little note on my desk and it says let them, and I just put a couple examples that are personally my struggles.
Huh?
And I look at it, okay, I'm grounded again. I know what I'm doing today. Quite frankly, even quiet time for me, sometimes it only lasts till 10:30 in the morning. Have a conversation with God all day long. Help me let them go, or help me let
Mhm.
them be, and just keep going.
Yes. I also have something near my bathroom mirror that I put up recently that says letting go. And that's what it means
Yeah.
to me. I'm letting go of that responsibility that I feel for what they're doing and what the implications of what they're doing will be. Let them do it.
And this is huge, tough love. Obviously, keeping your children safe is important. And there's certain things that you need to like run in front of a car to get your child. But there's so many things that we do get to let go and kind of love and logic them, quote unquote. That's a different book. Tough love them so that they can make mistakes and they have a consequence for it, instead of growing up as an adult and being a complete irresponsible, lacking personal responsibility, making huge consequences in their life. So that's another thing of just holding people fully capable and not going into enabling. Because I have a bachelor's degree in enablement. So my goal is to stop doing that, stop
Thank
enabling people and fully hold them capable of their lives and their choices and their consequences and wins, really.
Yeah, for some reason, I find myself always feeling responsible for the way other people behave. Like if I'm associated with them, then I can't let them do something disrespectful, or I can't let them do something embarrassing or, rude, whatever it may be. But I have to remind myself I am not responsible for any other adults in my life but me, and they are responsible for them. And
Yeah.
gosh, what a great gift to yourself to remember that and put it in practice.
And that's ego, right?
To say that I'm responsible. Yeah.
Or just any judgment on it, because it's like, well, that's my kid. I don't want my kid acting like that. That makes me look like a bad mom. Or
Well, and I think kids are different. We are responsible for our
yeah.
kids. I'm more talking about adults
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah.
my life, and I shouldn't feel responsible for other adults.
No, it's so freeing to let people be exactly who they're going to be. And that's a whole different podcast, probably. But the goal that we're talking about today is, or maybe you don't know your calling, but I think possibly at the minimum, you believe that you are made for something better than just existing.
Right.
So, if you don't know your calling, then start talking to God, start finding out what your calling is. But I can guarantee it's probably wrapped around the traumas you've gone through, helping other people, and loving other people. And then what is the format of that? What's the easiest format for you? God's not going to have you be doing something that's not easy for you. He wants you to use your gifts easily, and He wants you to be a vessel used easily with no resistance. But the resistance comes in sometimes worthiness. Do I have a calling? Do I actually have something to offer the world?
Yeah, we all do.
Yeah, I agree. We all do.
And it's our responsibility to not focus on others, but to seek understanding from God what that is and truly get to know ourselves and our gifts, like you said, and our talents.
So the question is to look and see, do you actually have a fear of success?
Is it easier, like we're saying, to be focused on other people?
It's way easier.
Yeah.
It's not like integrity wise when you go put your head on your pillow and if you diet in your sleep tonight, it's not easy to leave this world and not have accomplished what you were called to do. That part's not easy. That's a healthy fear of God that should get you out of bed to get this stuff done. But it's way easier to be like, well, my husband is being a jerk today, or my kids yelling in the basement on games today, so I'm annoyed. It's all choices. We all get to choose. Am I annoyed by that? I don't know. Can you guys hear my kid yelling right now in the basement? Hope not. But God cannot steer a ship that's tethered to the harbor. So if you are unwilling to untether from the harbor, you probably will not go forward, or he can't move you. You have your full self-will, but you have to get out on the seas of life and be brave and step out courageously into your giftings and pray that he's going to steer that ship.
And the harbor, I think, can be a multitude of things. It could be that fear that you're holding on to. It could be distraction about other people and your judgment of what's going on elsewhere. To your point earlier, it could be laziness. To my point earlier, it could be you have no energy left after, dealing with everything. But take care of that. Make decisions that will allow you to save your energy for going after your calling and taking action. So yeah, the harbor could be many things.
So let's talk about some ways that you can shift out of this once you've recognized that you're procrastinating or blaming or focusing on others. One of the ways that I shift out of it is I set up a goal and break it down into bite-sized steps. So we knew we wanted to do this podcast. So I'm super proactive on my calendar that, hey, these are the days we're going to focus on that. And I stick to it. And I keep my word to myself and you. And therefore, both of us know in the back of our mind that we are reliable humans that actually have the same goal and intention. So it makes it really fun and easy to do this project with you because there's no chasing or blaming. Like, I don't ever have the thought of Christy's not working on this hard enough. It's like we meet up and we just do the thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Both accountable. And then there's no anger or resentment towards each other, but also internally there's no guilt, right? Because that could also weigh you down as a person when you don't feel good about what you're putting out there. If you continuously let yourself down and let others down, that's not a good place to be emotionally, internally. So it feels great when you can follow through on the promises that you make to others and to yourself.
Yeah, keeping your word is rarely done with yourself, and it's really not done often with other people. People could find that quite offensive to hear that because I would be offended by that because I feel like I'm a person that keeps my word. But if you really looked at it, it's like, how many times do you not keep your word to yourself?
Yeah.
I mean, your goals go out the door when someone else has their drama or a need or kids need something.
Yeah. And that goes back to the quote, it's a scapegoat when something else externally around you happens that throws you off from your goal or your intention. And then you justify it with yourself. That's using something else as a scapegoat.
Yeah. And then we can be right that we don't deserve our goals and our dreams.
Which is a whole other episode.
Which is a whole other episode. So setting up accountability with achievable timeframes, that's a huge one. And my description of accountability is not someone chasing you and asking you if you got that done. You don't need a micromanager on your goals.
No.
Like, you're a grown human.
Yeah.
And it's my job to check in with you if I told you one of my goals. And you've heard the SMART method. I'm not going to go into that. You guys can easily Google that. Make them smart and achievable, basically, with a time frame. My job is to check in with you and say, hey, I'm going to have this done by whatever date. I'll check in with you when it's done. That's accountability.
Don't put the onus on somebody else when it's not even their goal. It's your goal. So take on the responsibility of moving it forward or stating the progress and then looking ahead. 100% agree. I've been reading a book recently called The Plan, and it's all about time management, although it gets into much bigger subjects with life. And one particular area talks about breaking to-dos down into more manageable pieces and making it more specific to your season of life. So for instance, parenting sounds like one big daunting thing. But if you break it down to the difficulties of parenting a child over the summer who just received a phone while I'm busy with a work project, now you can think about actionable steps against that. So just like that, with our personal growth, if we break things down into more manageable pieces and put it more into the season of our life, I think it's easier to tackle and to, like you're saying, set smart goals, right? Measurable things that you can stay accountable to. Much easier to do. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, that's massive.
Yeah. And one of the things that I did, just talking about how to do that, I introduced into my workday going on a 15-minute walk every single day a few years
Nice.
ago now. And it's been one of the best things I've ever done. It's manageable and I can fit it in even when I'm having a busy day or feeling overwhelmed. And it really clears my mind, helps me get to a new perspective on things. And I'm out in God's creations. And I could check in at any point in time. In fact, I do with coworkers and I say, I'm going to go on my walk. I'll be back. They know that I'm going to do that. They know that that's a goal of mine to do that and clear my head. It's
That's
work.
huge. I love that.
Yeah.
So another way to shift out of focusing on other people and actually doing your goals and giftings is to tell a safe person about it. Your accountability should never be the biggest naysayer in your life. I laugh with my close friend because she always goes to her dad, who is like the biggest negative person on her life and like super critical and judgmental. Of course you told your dad because you don't want to do the goal. You want someone to speak to your inner critic so you can say, yep, he's right, I shouldn't do it. It's so insane, but we do it all the time. We go to the person that's going to speak to our inner critic, who's a jerk, by the way. Our inner critic is so fearful. It's everything. That's probably a whole nother podcast too. But you're allowing their fears to justify your fears so that you don't have to take action again.
Yeah. There was a quote that you posted from somebody else, but you posted it on social media. And it says, slowing down, asking for permission, and wanting people to validate my ideas before I took risks to act on them was another way of stalling or at least trying to make it feel less risky. And so I think you're right. We feel like we need validation or somebody else to say, yes, that's what you should do. We don't need that. If you know it and you feel called to do something by God, go do it.
That's funny because I know for a fact God said to me, like, He's like, why do you keep asking for everyone's opinion when I've already told you what to do? All you're doing is creating more confusion for yourself. And I'm like, so I think we broke this down pretty well. I mean, just the quote alone has been pretty upsetting during my whole walk of just not choosing out. But I'm proud to say this project alone is choosing into my giftings. And that's why it's such a passion project for me, because it's like I'm finally doing what I said I was going to do. Just like publishing my book. It took 10 years to do that. And then it took 10 years to talk about it. It's insane how much we drag our feet. So talk about serious patience that God has. Time means nothing to him. It's us it's a problem for.
Even though it's taken 10 years, your calling hasn't changed.
Exactly. You just got stronger on him, or you found a really great scapegoat for a 10-year sabbatical, which is called a bad marriage.
And there are other scapegoats, and I can attest to that. We could find things that let a decade slip by and have no progress.
I can guarantee this. There's a book that was super huge in me starting to dream really big dreams, and it's called True Faced. I don't remember the author, but he's like, you can run as hard as you want from your goals and dreams that God put in your heart. Good luck with that. It's always going to come back. It just is. So you're either going to do it or you're not. And that's between you and God.
Dying without trying, at least, that's scary. That's scarier than trying and
Failing.
Yeah.
Yeah. They say the biggest regrets are the ones on deathbeds. And the most dreams are in the cemetery because they never were brought to fruition. So I think we've hit you pretty hard.
Yeah. I was going to say, though, too, if you have a person that is your scapegoat, and I'm speaking to myself, don't get me wrong. If I have a person that is my scapegoat, if I'm on my deathbed and I'm sitting here saying that person kept me from going after my dream, how much more angry am I going to be at that person? Just let it go. Let them.
Yeah, let them. So why don't you go into the action steps and journal reflection time? We just give these to you guys because honestly, I've learned the most by doing the work, and it's through my journaling that I actually hear from God for my action steps. Like, this is how I can apply this to my life right now. So we came up with these action steps for you to journal and reflect on. You can screenshot it and do them later on this week, and we'll see you next week. But she's going to go ahead and read them.
Okay, so number one, who or what do you use as your scapegoat to action? And then number 2, do you see a pattern of that you are willing to stop? And number 3, who are the naysayers in your life that speak directly to your inner critic and fear monger?
Those are some good ones. Once you realize just the third question, you're going to get pretty clear on why you keep sabotaging your dreams and goals.
And I bet there's several people that come to mind. I know there are for me instantaneously. Interesting to journal and maybe, why? Why do they get to us so bad?
Yeah, we chose them. They're perfect for our procrastination. Also, this just brings up another point is how are people using you as their procrastination?
And are you enabling it?
And are you enabling it?
Good question. The last thing I would say is try to practice the let them theory this week and just see what happens. See those implications unfold and take note.
Yeah, go watch some of Mel Robbins' videos on that. They're solid.
All right.
Till next time, we'll see you guys next week and hope you got some good nuggets out of this to move forward and heal and grow and learn and expand yourself.
Till next time, thank you, everyone.
Bye. Thanks for joining us today. We know your time is valuable and we hope you have a phenomenal week.
Until our next episode, find more content and social links at stillwithpurpose.com.